pulling, Heini. When you stop pulling and it's locked already, I cannot release it unless you stop pulling. If you keep pulling, it will stop. It will keep being locked. You need to stop pulling so that it can like bounce back. It locks in place once it locks. You need to let it go so that it can unclick, so to speak. Anyway, so here I am again, not even 2 hours later, because we were doing our day walk kind of late, and now it's time for evening walk, because, well, yeah, so close together, but what are you gonna do? Evening walk would become nighttime zero visibility walk, if we don't do it now. So, gotta do it. My sleep schedule was utter trash. Has been utter trash recently. Basically doing no sleeping at all because too hot during the day. I actually got on aircon, believe it or not. Finally got on aircon in my room, and literally installed it yesterday. Literally. Or was it the day before yesterday? I don't even know. Everything kind of melted together. No, I think it was yesterday. No, I think it was the day before yesterday. Could you believe it? And by the way, completely just like killed my body while doing it. I completely forgot that air cons weigh like more than 5. Like any air con, even a small one, weighs like 5 Americans. It's ridiculous how freakishly fucking heavy they are. They are basically as heavy as refrigerators. Like imagine if you never picked up an AC in your life, imagine picking up a refrigerator that was condensed to the size of the air con, and that's it. You're gonna get the experience of what it's like trying to install that thing. It is absolutely, not even small ones are designed basically to be installed by a single person. Well, anyway, it's neither here nor there. There is one small, hopefully this stream will be shorter. There is one small announcement, micro actually, announcement that I should have made, and that is I need to issue a correction to something I have said a couple times in the past, which was basically that I am back to, out of nowhere, actually, not even back to, it's that I made a decision with all the streaming shenanigans at one point to start prioritizing YouTube out of nowhere, because on Twitch, obviously Twitch is dead as a platform unless you're Pokimane, and Kick, I tried Kick and I discovered that Kick actually has probably even less potential than Twitch for smaller streamers, because Kick at Twitch, at least, I don't think Twitch really does that anymore, but it used to in the past, kind of like home grow its own quote-unquote talent. Absolutely, it used to, right? A ton of people became huge on Twitch out of nothing. No one's becoming anything on Kick. People are invited to Kick once they're huge. As a result of that, Kick isn't really a platform with audience. People is just Kick is just a hosting website, basically, for people who are already established streamers to just have their stream there, right? They take their stream, they take their audience, they put it, they bring it to Kick, and that's it, right? Like Kick itself doesn't really have any audience for anyone. It's like the individual audiences for every big streamer on Kick is the only audience that exists on the website. Other than that, it's not that like Kick doesn't have discoverability or anything, it's just that Kick doesn't grow their own talent, therefore there is audience on Kick, yeah, but it's not yours and it will never be. So, like, yeah, I might as well just like start prioritizing Twitch again over Kick, legitimately. Or rather, I don't know. If any of you, by the way, know of any alternative streaming platforms with that are kind of like small enough or whatever the hell. But usually, you know, those alternative streaming quote-unquote services, they are kind of like obscure for a reason, and like usually there's not a lot of audience there in the first place. Like when Keemstar, for example, was banned everywhere, and he was streaming on, I don't even know what are those websites called, fucking like D Live or something like that, or like Live 24 or whatever, you know, Stream Live. I don't know, but you kind of understand the kind of websites I'm talking about, you know. It's like, Keemstar is still alive as a content creator? He is streaming on where? I never even heard of that. You know, those type of platforms. But again, you know, it's somebody like Keemstar can go to a platform like that and stream there because he was banned on YouTube and Twitch wouldn't have him or whatever, you know. But a normal person, yeah, they would go to somewhere, to some place like that, and there's no discoverability, there is no real audience, you know. No, it's just a hosting for somebody with an audience, with their audience like already established. Yeah, but like right now, you might as well go on Twitch, honestly, than Kick, because unless you were invited to Kick, unless Kick directly lets you know that you will be pushed somehow to people, or you can bot yourself, because one thing you can do on Kick, which you cannot do on Twitch, is you can bot the hell out of you, as long as you have the internet and RAM for that, and CPU power as well. Yeah, essentially, recently, something happened, and I understand that those people were mostly bots, but it's not that. I'm not using bots as an insult to tell you that you guys are bots. Have you seen comments on like Instagram or Twitter, X, or even like YouTube Shorts, I suppose? Have you seen any of the comments, quote unquote, people leave there? Like, I'm not using that as an insult. Legitimately, basically 90% of those things aren't humans. Those are bots, you know? And I've had very interesting bot encounters on YouTube with bots in the chat. You get those on Twitch, you get those on Kick constantly. Like, hey dude, what an awesome stream. It's just a copy and pasted message every time. What an awesome stream you have. Do you want to have more audience? I would love for you to have more audience. Click here and buy followers and viewers. I get that stuff all the time on Kick. You sometimes get it on Twitch, or you used to, at least, I don't know now. But yeah, on Kick you get it all the time. You used to get sometimes on Twitch. And on YouTube you don't really get that, but on YouTube you legitimately get people in the chat who just say random things. And you're like, what the hell is this? Who are you talking to? What are you trying to say? And sometimes they say something that is mildly related to what you say. So I assume it's like the kind of AI that reads your voice. And they're like, oh, the dude is talking about like weather. You know, let me say something about weather. You know, or... But it's very clear that the person is not messaging you anything even remotely like normal, or about anything that you've been talking about, let alone talking right now. So very, very weird, almost like creepy messages that, not creepy in the sense of their content, but in the sense of just their kind of like uncanniness. So yeah, I understand that those were bots, but something was going on with either the algorithm on YouTube, where vertical streams may have been pushed into the discovery feed of Shorts. That was my assumption, or something like that. But I would usually do a stream, right? And even if I have zero people messaging me, and even if or whether I do or do not have a few bot messages, doesn't matter. And that stream would actually then, I would end the stream, yeah, I would go into the Creator Studio to rename it, or to make it public, because sometimes they were, for some reason, my streams were being saved as private, despite me never setting that setting up. And I would see in the stream I actually had like 100 viewers or something, and I actually gained 2 subscribers since then. And I don't know if those were bots, and I haven't paid attention for like how many of those views were actually legitimate, but it was nice to see at least some kind of growth of the channel, even if those are bots. Like, who cares? Almost everyone on the internet is bot these days. Like, what do you think people with like 100k followers on Instagram actually have an audience of that size? No, most of them are either dead subscribers, dead followers, or in many cases like literally dead people, or those are bots, you know. So like, I don't care necessarily if those would be people following everything I do, or if those are even bots in the first place. It was still nice to see your channel grow. Well, now YouTube, something either changed in the algorithm, or maybe I don't know, swore a little bit too much, although I don't think I swear that much, to be honest. You know, my streams are not political, my streams are not culture warsy, you know. I don't know. Maybe I was quote-unquote shadow banned for some reason, or maybe the algorithm just no longer pushes streams, you know, into the discovery somehow. But yeah, the last half a dozen streams I've done got literally 0 views, so they are no longer pushed at all. So no one is seeing them. And in this case, prioritizing YouTube is actually a rather silly idea, because YouTube, well, you know, if you're running YouTube, you're always running the risk of just being banned for literally nothing, you know. You'll say something like you dislike The Last of Us Part 2, and it gets interpreted as hate speech or something like that, and next thing you know, your channel is banned or something. And I don't want to be dealing with that, right? Because my channel is very small, and it is being utilized as a portfolio. I like how it's organized, and I wouldn't want to lose it. I wouldn't want to like redo the whole thing again. And I definitely, well, you know, the 120 subs that I have right now, it's something I've been working on for like 10 years. If I create a new channel right now, in terms of discoverability, in terms of like algorithm friendliness and stuff like that, it will be even worse. Like right now, at least I have the fact that there are a few thousands of watch hours on my channel, right? So YouTube knows that my channel exists. I'm in the algorithm. It knows that people do watch my channel, at least, you know. Yes, I know, over 10 years, it's not really saying much, but multiple thousand watch hours, okay? It's more than 0. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to start anew. So, basically, yeah, if no one's actually watching these streams on YouTube, then I might as well not do them here, because it serves no purpose. It's all risk and no benefit. Yes, of course, on YouTube they are at least automatically archived. I'm not downloading these streams from Kick and then re-uploading them back to my YouTube channel. No, I don't need that in my sub box on YouTube, you know, or put that in the sub box of my followers on YouTube. No, that's too cringe. That's not the content, you know, they subscribe to. This is a pure bonus thing. And yeah, especially if I do anything from desktop, I might as well just do Twitch and Kick. Yes, on Twitch you also can get banned for random things, like just saying I dislike Neil Druckmann and his work. I think he's very overrated and in fact pretty talentless. boom, you're banned, right? Like I've just risked my whole internet presence just terminated. Well, on Twitch, you know, if my Twitch goes down, who cares? On Kick, it wouldn't be a problem. On YouTube, yeah, I care if my YouTube goes down for something like this, you know, for this contemporary ridiculousness, you know, of things in America. Hopefully temporary contemporary ridiculousness. We'll see, right? But as it stands, if no one's watching on YouTube, then what's the point, right? It's risk with no benefit. All right, my micro announcement that took. Come on, boo, don't fight me. Come on, let's go. Pool is being worked on. Okay, we cannot play in the backyard. We might as well just stand here. All right. So, did that trigger you, by the way? That's why I say all right this way now. think it's funny as hell. Alrighty. So, no, you another thing to be banned for, right? So, what do we have here? I did kind of brought up the fact that in either a few days or maybe a week or so, because I will be busy this weekend into, I would say, like the middle of the following week. So I don't know exactly how my schedule regarding publishing, releasing things, posting things will play out. But let's not stand in place 100%, boo. Insects. But I will try my best to post a new demo that I've already done. It is done in Korg Gadget. Why Korg Gadget? Well, Korg is actually one of the companies I've contacted in the past, trying to become like an affiliate of theirs. Trying to, well, basically endorse them. And yeah, I know, how the hell, or getting endorsed, I suppose, by them. That would be the correct way. I'm not entirely sure who's supposed to be endorsing what, who supposed to be endorsing whom, but yeah, because Korg just makes a lot of hardware that is very connectable. You know, Roland, for example, relies entirely on MIDI clock these days, which means most of their hardware is not directly integratable into, you know, analog voltage control kind of like rigs, right, or setups. And it's you can probably get like converters and stuff like that, but I don't have one, for example, right? So like, yeah, you can easily get a ton of stuff that you can kind of duct tape together into a live synthesizer setup with the VC clock. But you, like with Roland equipment, you cannot, essentially. It only supports MIDI clock, their equipment. And yeah, like Korg just makes so many things that are just directly pluggable into any setup at all, and any Korg setup at all, along with Arturia stuff also. Like Arturia stuff and Korg stuff, they feel very well, you know, working together. And Korg was one of the companies I absolutely just kind of wanted to offer them a deal. And you might say, well, you don't have any audience, so why would Korg want to work with you? Well, I may not have any audience, but you know what I have that many people with huge audiences don't have as much of? I have time, okay? I have time and I have loyalty. And I can be making content for you guys. Because you think, well, we already have some content. Well, you don't have enough content. How about you have something to post every day? You know? Something that just demonstrates what your hardware can do that no one else is doing, you know, with your hardware. Something that really pushes the application of your hardware and just its capabilities in general. Its capabilities are probably already being pushed by existing, making ambient with Korg Volca, synthesizer. Let's see what they can do for things like that. Who's making dark ambient? Very, very long history with Korg. Been using Korg gadgets since day one it came out. iPad Air first generation, specifically so that I can be using Korg gadget. I had multiple Korg synthesizers. I had a Micrologue, Mini Logue. I'm confusing them. It doesn't matter. Okay, one of those, and at multiple periods of my life, I basically had like an army of Volcas. So yeah, gadget. The thing with gadget, like I explained earlier, I am not super interested in dropping everything I do, like period. Barely even like talking to people for 6 months in order to write, arrange, and produce my next record. If it's just going to end up another record that no one knows about, no one cares about, no one will hear, it's not something that appeals to me. You might say, well, wouldn't you just do it for the love of the process? For the love of which process? Production? I hate production. Every musician hates production. You know why? Because you spend a month writing content. You then spend maybe another week or so. Like if we're talking a song, okay, no, let's talk a song. Takes 1 to 3 days maybe to write it. Then maybe another day or two to finish the arrangement. And then like 2 weeks to do the production for that song. If we're talking like serious production. This is an LP we're doing. So what I'm saying is that over 50%, maybe not 2 weeks, but like at least another 3 to 4 or 5 days, something like that. It takes up way too long, dude. If you have 2 songs and you end up basically making them in something like 3 to 4 days, you then end up with like 2 weeks of production. Like, when you do a lot of music, these weeks, they really, really, really start to add up. Like I could have written so much music in my life if I could just sit down, write it, arrange it, and then ship it to an engineer, and a week from then I'd get the finished product. By the time I get it, I would have, I would have had another project, another song to ship to the engineer. Yeah, but when you do everything yourself, it's constant, start and stop, start and stop. You start, it takes you actually a few days to build up inertia, to build up the speed. Basically, by the time you finish like the arrangement of your song, you are at the peak of your efficiency, and you then have to stop and start doing absolutely different things. That's what you have to do when you are a multi-discipline creative. You constantly have to stop the thing that you have just built up the inertia for and begin doing something completely else, something completely different. And it is so annoying and tiring and disheartening. And after you do that for like your entire life, no, it's not a fun process, okay? I don't want to be doing that for fun. You know what I like doing for fun? The live sessions on my YouTube channel. No, that was fun. It was fun because it was just pure like tinkering. It was pure play. Actually sitting down, arranging a song, writing and arranging the song, and then producing it, no, it's not fun. It's tedious labor. It's interesting, sometimes, oftentimes it is, but it's most definitely not fun when you do it, especially on large scale, like an LP, scale. No. It's not fun at all. So no, I wouldn't be doing stuff like that just for fun. Just for fun, I would be doing like live tinkering with a Eurorack type of setups. That's what I would have been doing for fun. Or just otherwise, tinkering with huge arrays of synthesizers, like hardware ones, so that I don't have to literally using one finger, control a giant army of synthesizers, because that's what you do when you have a crap ton of synthesizers and the whole thing is virtual. It's like having all of these synthesizers in front of you and only interacting with one of them at a time with one finger, with the mouse pointer. That's what it's like. It is pretty cool to have all those things, all that power at your fingertip, but it gets old after a while. You just kind of, the workflow is it's toilsome. It definitely takes a toilsome. It's tiring. Okay, it is. It really is. So this is I am trying to prioritize doing a finishing the novel right now, or the light novel, if you will, maybe a novella. But my book is actually already way too long for a novella, or rather, it's pushing the absolute upper limit for what novellas are usually, for what lengthwise is usually considered a novella. But yeah, music-wise, guys, I don't know. I just don't have it in me, to sit down and do the whole production thing, for weeks. After having fun for 2 days, sit for 2 weeks and just do production. First of all, my hearing is not as good as it used to be. I am definitely a million times more efficient at production now. Than I was even, I think, 5 years ago, because I know all kinds of shortcuts now. I can do it super quick, especially with my own music. I already know, what kind of frequencies where I need to boost and with which frequencies I need to cut and which synthesizers, because I'm so familiar with my own style and the instruments that I use. But it is still not fun, and well, sometimes that corner cutting actually results in something subpar, and then you have to either release something knowing that actually it kind of sounds like crap, but whatever, no one's going to hear it anyway, and that's just not the right approach. All that sacrifice, all those brain cells that were just completely killed by the process of production. And by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you just ask an engineer in your life. If you don't trust me, ask an audio engineer of your life and find them and ask them, does serious production of a song feel like brain damage? They're gonna talk over you. They will say yes before you even finish the sentence. And it feels like brain damage and PTSD. It feels like learning a language. Learning a language is not fun. Anyone who tells you that learning a language is fun are lying to you, or what they're doing has nothing to do with learning a language. And yeah, audio production is the same way. It is so difficult because it is almost all of it is just in your mind. Yes, of course, you do have some tools in front of you, some reading tools, but you're not even supposed to look at those in many cases. It's just all in your head. You listen and you build a picture in your head. It's 100% imagination exercise. It is so tiring. It literally, it takes up all of your brain capacity. And while you do it, you cannot be listening to a podcast. You cannot have a Netflix show on the second monitor. Yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to be doing stuff like that. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to do to make something brilliant that will actually reach people, right? So that there is a point in stuff like that existing. Would I not do it just for fun? No, for fun I do other types of musical things. And well, would I not do it for the the purpose of the high call of making, art and stuff like that? Honestly, after you do stuff like this for over a decade and absolutely no one cares, it takes away the purpose. Because I'm sorry, the purpose of great art is not just so that, I make something great and then I remembered, 20 years after I die. Maybe people 100 years ago at least had a hope in something like that. But in the contemporary age of information bloat, there's even no hope in that, right? Like that's it. People don't care about me, people don't care about my stuff, and that's it forever. Nothing's going to change if I die today. People will never rediscover my stuff. Maybe someone will play Hit Signature 20 years down the line, and they'll say, hey, this music is pretty all right. But that's it. They're probably not even going to pay attention. They're not even going to find out who made it, let alone discover the rest of my portfolio. The rest of my discography. No, that's it. And yeah, guys, it's just not something I'm particularly passionate about, just like throwing my life away to keep doing stuff like that. My reasoning is that if I ever want to again create something like that, I first need to get myself into the position where I can first ensure my own survival and ensure my ability to, have tools necessary for stuff like that. And the actual success of doing music that would quote unquote be kind of big LP production in the fashion that you might be familiar with, right? From my previous stuff. No, absolutely. It's a sacrifice that needs to be made. But first of all, it doesn't have to be made because for someone doing it seriously with commitment, there needs to be a support system around it. I.e., there needs to be somebody actually doing production either with me or, in fact, entirely for me or almost entirely for me. Because that's just how it works. My hearing is not as great as it used to be. I'm better at production. I'm way more efficient at production. But I think the results are slowly getting worse. In fact, I think I know it. I don't just suppose it. I'm pretty convinced. My hearing is getting worse, and it's a completely different job. It is extremely inefficient to be doing everything by yourself in all production of anything that, by its basic logic, requires multiple people. Yep. And second, I think it's only fair that if I put all this effort into making something great and big and honest, even if it sucks, I do it honestly still, right? I think it's only fair that my stuff, gets reviewed, gets looked at. I get actual feedback from people, and I let the audience decide, that I actually get exposed to the audience, and then the audience can tell me whether my album sucks or not. But nope, no exposure, no review, no nothing, just screaming into the void. Aini, are you not seeing that the whole thing is stretched? Yeah, no, screaming into the void. It's all very interesting, but I've been doing it for so long. Would I not be interested in it again Yes, absolutely, but I need to be in a better place in my life. And also, and or in a place where I have more of a support structure for the whole operation. That's why I am playing with Core Gadget right now, because Core Gadget actually, I am very, very limited sound design wise. Sound design wise, I am very, very limited with Core Gadget, and actually it is very limiting. It's very annoying. It's very limiting. It's very annoying. And I don't know for how long I will keep doing it. But I don't do it like I don't do it constantly. You know, I do it like this. The next track / song, whatever. Well, technically there's no lyrics, so it cannot be counted as a song. But yeah, the next thing that I will hopefully upload in a few days, I just need to do like the visualizer for it, which I haven't gotten around to doing it. Oiny, stop being silly. We, yeah, I haven't done almost anything in Core Gadget for over a week, I think, after releasing the previous demo, draft, as I called it. And I literally worked for like an hour or hour and a half, 2 hours tops a day on this next thing that I will post soon. Yeah, if I was seriously exploring the depths, so to speak, that I want to explore, I would have already probably been just like utterly disappointed with Gadget. But because I know what Gadget is, I know what it's made for. It's not made for what I'm using it for. It's not made for that at all. It's okay. It's fun. It's easy. I can do it in my bed. I can do it in transport. That's why I'm doing it. So yeah, that's why Gadget. I like Gadget. It has its limitations, which are mostly in the type of sound design I'm looking forward to making, hopefully one day. But it's just almost like, remember how Review Tech USA, when he wanted to be a professional musician again, like a couple years ago or so, or a year ago, something like that, and he was proudly announcing how he is working on his phone, and not even in real like mobile DAWs like Cubases and whatnot, or Aurea, I think, is another one that's very popular. But he was just working with some samplers that are like borderline free, like free to download samplers. Well, right now, yeah, I like Gadget for its workflow. Its workflow is absolutely super working for me right now. Anything else, just I don't know if I have it in me, to sit down and make another big record with all the drawbacks of working with one finger again, with the mouse pointer. Not right now, not the second. So yeah, that's why Core Gadget. I absolutely recommend Core Gadget for any good for that. But it can also be used to make some very nicely sounding music, but in kind of like a limited capacity genre-wise and sound design-wise, and especially for what I'm doing, yeah, it has its limitations. But it's not what it's made for, so not hating on it in any capacity at all. And I'm using an older version because of my old iPad. Like, I don't even know what modern Core Gadget does. It might actually have some... It may have some functions that I'm looking for that just no longer... that were implemented, right? But not on the older version that I have. And yeah. I see that there's a bunch of synthesizers that actually support it. But I cannot have them because it's like a lot of additional modules that you can have for Core Gadget are actually kind of given to you for free if you buy the full standalone version of that synth for the iOS. And I cannot buy them because my iOS is very old, because my iPad is very old. Anyway, so that's why Core Gadget. You know, it's a bit of a prelude to hopefully, you know, bigger, greater thing to come. And hopefully No, just come with me to that pile over there. Come on. Will I ever make any of those drafts properly? Could be. But honestly, I think I would make a completely different work once I get to my quote-unquote real setup. So yeah, that's why Core Gadget, and that's why I am not in a hurry to be, you know, to return to a real quote-unquote production. And yeah, have I actually voiced the thing that I wanted to voice regarding YouTube and stuff? Consider following me on Kick if you're interested in streams like that and just other streams in general, because it is possible that in the future I may drop YouTube, because it seems that it's there's not a lot of point. So yeah, that's it. I'm out.